Come with me to Erewhon, Beverly Hills. I'm gonna take you through what's worth it, what isn't, why I absolutely love this store. Let's check it out. If you haven't heard of Erewhon by now, you're probably living under a rock. I was just there tonight and honestly, it was a little overwhelming. There are so many tourists in town, making this incredibly popular spot even more in demand. So everyone goes and they take pictures of their smoothies. It's definitely an experience, but it's something that I actually really believe in and recommend. So I'm going to take you through what I love about Erewhon, some things that I can do without, and if you are going there, what you should absolutely order versus skip. Welcome back to my channel. My name's JoAnna. I am a toddler mom, entrepreneur, and I have a passion for holistic living and fitness. So just a fun fact in case you didn't know, Erewhon is supposed to be nowhere spelled backwards. And this is based on a book. And what I really love about this little fact here is that in the novel Erewhon, Erewhon is an anagram of nowhere. It's a utopia in which individuals are responsible for their own health and prosecuted for the crime of being ill. So as somebody who's really passionate about health and wellness for myself and for my family, I'm a big believer in the principles by which Erewhon stands by. So now getting into pricing. Okay, so that's probably the most controversial thing about Erewhon. And I have a membership, so I am definitely an all-in kind of person. I'll explain to you later in the video how I actually get money back by being a member at Erewhon, which I think is totally worth it if you buy a lot of groceries for your family like I do. So this store is just rapidly expanding. There are 10 locations in LA, and they even offer nationwide shipping for some items. So if you're watching this video and you're not local to the LA area, but you want to try some things at Erewhon, then definitely take note of some of my favorites and see if they are available for shipping in your area. So we'll get into those items later. And yeah, are there some items that I pick up and I put in my cart and I look at the price, or sometimes I don't even see the price and I get my e-receipt and I go home and I'm scratching my head because, you know, some things are just a little out of control and we skip on those for sure. But a lot of the items that I get there are actually the same price, if not less than, you know, a Whole Foods or your other grocery store, simply because my membership gives me 10% back in points. So I look at it as a 10% discount. So if they're offering the same price as Whole Foods, I'm actually doing better off buying it at Erewhon with my membership. One thing that makes me feel really good about shopping here is that the new owners, so this was owned by a different family in the past, and when the Antoci family took over, they are well known throughout LA. They have a very successful real estate portfolio because obviously Erewhon is doing very well. But this family takes a lot of pride in picking out what their store is carrying. So it's a certified B Corp and everything is vetted by the owner's wife. So the store owner personally vets all of the items that are on the shelf. If it's something that has ingredients that are kind of troubling to her, you won't find it in Erewhon. So I'm going to jump right into probably the most well-known popular item in the store, and that is the Hailey Bieber strawberry smoothie. The Hailey Bieber strawberry glazed smoothie is definitely something that you will see people whipping out their phones, taking videos of. Is it worth it? I'm going to get into that now. So with a price tag of $20 for this item, it is definitely not cheap, but it is packed with some pretty good flavor. So according to their menu with this smoothie, they call it the skin smoothie. It's a blend of almond milk, organic strawberries, bananas, avocado, dates, maple syrup, collagen peptides, hyaluronic acid, sea moss gel, and coconut cream. So that is a lot of ingredient for your $20. So they're definitely not skimming out. It's not your run-of-the-mill strawberry banana smoothie. So if you're into these things and if you're into wellness, it seems like something that if you're coming in from out of town, you should definitely try it. This is actually growing on me better than I remembered. Maybe it depends who makes it. I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10. And just as a little local pro tip, I go to Erewhon a lot, obviously. I have tried the Hailey Bieber ice cream. And as a person who's not really that into ice cream, I will tell you, this is like a soft serve, amazing sundae. So Hailey, I guess, handpicked the toppings on it. There are healthy toppings that you get, but the Hailey Bieber soft serve, in my opinion, is actually superior to the smoothie if you're in the mood for something like that. So since there is another smoothie that I prefer over the Hailey Bieber smoothie, let's get into that one. I like the peanut butter blast. I actually make a really good version of this at home myself, so it's pretty easy ingredients to follow, but there is something about someone else making it for you that sometimes can be a little bit better. So this one, depending on how you customize it, it's going to run you about $18. By default, this one comes with a plant-based protein, and I've made the mistake of ordering it the way that it comes. Don't do that. The plant-based protein in this just gives it a weird consistency. My tried and true favorite, the peanut butter blast, but you got to make 2 substitutions. You do whey protein, not plant protein. Different texture, not nearly as good. If you're a coffee lover like me, I put cold brew in instead of almond milk. That's how you do the peanut butter blast. 9 out of 10. So sometimes I will stop at their hot food bar, and I have to say it's pretty good quality all around. I mean, you can't really go wrong with any of the items at the hot food bar. Even their breakfast is great. There's a protein skillet that I love. But for lunch and dinner, what I really like to get, a standout menu item, is the black cod. So I read in a news article when I was kind of reading about the family behind Erewhon that the owner actually came up with the recipe for this herself. She based it off of the famous one at Nobu. So if you're a fan of Nobu restaurants and you get the cod over there, you can get the one at Erewhon for lunch, which is actually a lot cheaper than getting it at Nobu. And I think quality wise, it tastes just as good as the one you'll get in a Nobu restaurant. So that's my favorite item from the hot bar. And then you get 2 sides when you get your combo plate. So if you're a newbie at Erewhon, you have to have this down to a science. So if you're ordering from the smoothie bar, you go up to the smoothie line. It's usually pretty long. You can pre-order and then you pay for your smoothie right there on the spot. And that tends to be really crowded almost any time of day. So they also sell coffee, they sell green juices. So that's kind of like the main entry point that you're going to stop at when you get to Erewhon. When you get over to the hot food bar, it's like sometimes this crazy line, like this rush, and it's a little overwhelming because there's like so many good things, and there's salads and there's sides. And so what you need to know is if you're doing a combo plate, you're gonna pick 1 protein and 2 sides. So as I mentioned, the black cod is great. There are a lot of other choices there that you cannot go wrong with. Certain days they have like chef's special, and it might be like tacos or short ribs or whatever other offerings they have. And again, all of these are pretty solid, but they will set you back a pretty penny. Recently, one of my friends posted that his combo plate actually broke $50. So that's where I have to draw the line. I don't think $50 for one person to have lunch is really an appropriate number, but I will say it's good quality and it is a lot of food. And most of the time, depending on the portions and what I'm eating, I can even, split up that combo plate and make it into 2 meals. But typically a combo plate is going to run you around $28 on the low end to low 40s on the high end. So somewhere around $30 to get a solid protein for your main sort of meal portion plus 2 really tasty sides. One of my other favorite Erewhon splurges, this is a household favorite, are their cookies. So you need to know which ones to order, and I'm going to break it down for you. So the Mad Chip cookie, that is a household favorite. You can get 12 of them for about $18. They do sell them individually for about $5 each, I believe. But I am a big believer in getting these little small ones because they make for an easy snack. I take them with me on the go for my toddler who's a big fan. My husband also really loves the peanut butter cookie. It's called the Mad Nutty cookie. They sell those individually. That's also been a winner here. So I'm giving a thumbs up on the Erewhon cookies. Those are honestly probably a 10 out of 10. So while we are on the topic of sweets, I'm not really that big of a sweets person, so this means a lot coming from me. The butterscotch budino. Okay, this is like a pudding that I just stumbled upon. It's a new item at Erewhon. It comes in this fancy Erewhon jar. And so I think this one is going to set you back about $8. There is a $3 bottle deposit. So I do actually bring my jars back to Erewhon since I get so many of these. They credit my account back, so I'll get like $20 here and there from the jars that I accumulate from soups and whatever else comes in these pretty little glass containers. So this one, ingredients, cream, organic milk, organic brown sugar. So everything they're using is pretty clean. So at least it's a somewhat guilt-free dessert. It's got egg, it's got chocolate chip, it's got like these little brownies. I don't know. You definitely have to try it. It's got organic chaga, so I assume that must be healthy. So it's a healthy-ish dessert. Anyway, I'm going to take a little sampling here so you can see. This has become a little guilty pleasure of mine. I'm going to rank this high on the dessert scale. And I don't eat it all in one sitting. This little container will usually last me about 3 days. So after dinner, I just kind of go in, get my little sweet fix. And that is the Erewhon Budino. Big fan. This is probably a 10 out of 10. Wow. Save some for later. Okay, so going back into some of my healthier finds, what I do also like to really get from Erewhon, they have these pre-sliced meats. So you can get like pre-sliced turkey, a little chicken that's seasoned very lightly. They have steak. So I keep those in my fridge just so that when I'm going for a little snack, I can get my protein, in, and it's just kind of a brainless, easy refrigerator item. They run you about $7 to $9 per pack, and they're a nice size portion. So I'm a big fan of those and just keeping them as a healthy household snack. I do also really like their turkey meatballs. They make them in a couple of different varieties. They have like this vodka sauce option, and those are all really good. But lately the prices have been creeping up on those. I think they're running about $24 to $26 for 6 of them. I mean, they taste really good, but it's on the more expensive side. So given the price, I'm going to rank those a little bit lower than I would like. So I'm probably going to put those at like a 7 out of 10, but they are pretty good to have in the house just as an easy, kind of thing that you could heat up when you are pressed for time. I also try to start my mornings off really healthy. I love the Erewhon brand eggs. So these are organic eggs, and they give you the breakdown of, the way that the eggs, so these are grade AA organic eggs. They're pasture raised, nest laid, hand gathered. So eggs everywhere are expensive these days. I think these are about $12 for the dozen, so like $1 an egg. But I noticed when I cook eggs, and I cook a lot of eggs, that these just tend to come out really fluffy. They taste great. So again, these Erewhon eggs are definitely something that I don't think are really that much of a splurge, but they are superior to other brands of eggs out there. And lately, what I've also been doing, there's this cottage cheese, which I was always kind of skeptical of cottage cheese, but everyone says it's so good for getting your protein up. So I started to recreate the Starbucks egg bites at home. So I have a recipe for that. I share it in another video, so I will link that below. The Good Culture cottage cheese plus the Erewhon eggs will make these perfect little egg bites that you can snack on, you can freeze. So they're really easy to make, and I love these two ingredients that Erewhon carries that make the egg bites really tasty. I am always on a mission to find healthier alternatives for my toddler. So there is a cereal that you can find at Erewhon. It's a brand called Lovebird. It is entirely clean ingredients. I think you have to be really careful of these sugary cereals or these cereals that are covered in glyphosate. Like, it's just out of control what's happening to the food that we feed our children in this country. So the cereal by a brand called Lovebird is definitely worth checking out. Another household item that we go through really frequently is this brand of chips called Masa chips. My husband can eat an entire bag in one sitting. They are definitely on the more expensive side. There's a smaller size bag and a larger size bag that's $15. The $15 bag can be gone in one sitting depending on how many chips the people in your household eat. But in my household, that can go pretty quickly. But if you do your research and you look at the labels on everything like I do, you will see that these have no seed oils, totally clean ingredients. So they're definitely worth the extra over what you might pay for, your bag of Fritos or Doritos, which I would never touch. So the produce section at Erewhon, it's just honestly so aesthetically pleasing. Like, whoever designed these stores, marketing geniuses. I mean, you walk in and the layout of everything and the colors, it's like an OCD person's dream store, because everything is just in this beautiful display, and the colors in the produce section just really pop. So one of my favorite things to get here are Harry's Berries strawberries. Harry's Berries strawberries are really going to break the bank. Okay, not gonna lie, not gonna sugarcoat this one. You will pay $24 for these strawberries. You can find them at local farmers markets for a little bit less, but they are a superior strawberry. When I put them in smoothies, they just taste better. Everybody that I ever give one of these to try is like, wow, I really taste the difference. I don't know if it's the soil that they grow them on or what it is. I think it's around the Santa Barbara area where they're grown, but these are definitely an elite strawberry. I love them. So I try to make myself feel better about this purchase by telling myself that with my membership discount, it's a little bit less, but truthfully, they actually last longer than other strawberries. I remember one time ordering strawberries from another local grocery store and they were rotten in like 2 to 3 days. So you can get a couple of days out of these extra, I think, especially if you know how to take care of your produce, but they go so quickly in my household that it's a non-issue. So moving on to another section of Erewhon that I buy a lot of stuff from, it's the supplement section. So my supplement routine these days, it's pretty long. One thing that I hadn't tried and I just bought tonight, I will report back to you on, are these sea moss gummies. So I saw some crazy prices on this like sea moss gel. I've been reading about the health benefits on it. Let you know if I feel any different after I take them consistently, but so far so good. The taste was pretty good, and we are going to just have a look here and see what exactly sea moss does for you. Well, sea moss offers potential benefits for women's health, including supporting hormonal balance, reproductive health, overall well-being. It's rich in nutrients like iodine, zinc, folate, which is crucial for thyroid function, fertility, and healthy pregnancies. May improve skin and hair health. So maybe that's why people are paying so much money for this sea moss. I just jumped on this trend. If you have any feedback regarding sea moss, let me know, because I'm just learning about this one myself. So I really tend to shop at Erewhon for things where I can see a difference in the quality. As I mentioned, the produce and things like that. So when you really look at the ingredients and the labels on things, even just like a soup, when I was buying soups at other grocery stores that were pre-made, they would have all kinds of preservatives and things that just didn't sit well with me. I remember one time getting a mac and cheese at Whole Foods for my daughter, and when I looked at what was printed on the label, it was not something that I really felt comfortable giving to my daughter. So I will always invest in the extra money for things that I can really feel a tangible benefit it when it comes to feeding myself and my family. On your way out of Erewhon, you will see pretty flowers, you will see candles, you will see merchandise. So they have really just tapped into all markets. They even have like the toilet paper today. We've got a brand called Who Gives a Crap, and 4 extra soft rolls will set you back $10. So Erewhon is just into everything. They even have healthy dog treats. So I pick those up for my dog from time to time because you have to even be careful about what you're giving your pets these days. Overall, I think that investing in health and wellness is something that is really important because the opposite of that is spending money on treatment for health. So I think it is a luxury thing to be able to shop at a store like Erewhon, but in some cases, the prices really are not that much different than your Whole Foods and other grocers. So I'm not about to jump on the bandwagon and buy an Erewhon sweatshirt or any of those unnecessary items anytime soon, although they do look pretty nice. But when it comes to making the investment for good food for myself and my family, I am definitely a fan. And even my almost 3-year-old is a big fan of the Hailey Bieber smoothie. So I guess I am in trouble. We are going to be breaking the bank on groceries for the little one, but it is a good investment when it comes to her health. If you live local to the area, I would recommend checking out the membership. It's $200 annually. I easily save way more than that a year. They give me my receipt. I get 10% back in membership points with every visit. So I'm always accumulating these points. So every time when I go to check out, it softens the blow. They also have partnerships with different brands and you get a free smoothie every month. So my app here actually tracks my lifetime savings being a member. I have been a member for a long time, full disclaimer, but my lifetime savings by having this membership is $4,201.22. So it definitely was worth the $200 annual investment that I've made probably for the last 3 years. Let me know what you think of Erewhon, if there are some favorites that I may have missed or things that you don't think are worth the hype or the price tags. I'd love to hear from you. I'm always on the lookout for good, healthy snacks for my family and just to stay fit and healthy. So feel free to drop me a line. Let me know any questions I can ask you. And thanks so much for watching.